Recently, I attended my 20th class reunion, and from Lee County High School, Leesburg, Georgia. And when I got the date, I was really excited about this class reunion because I lived in Milwaukee, and I'd been living in Alaska for 15 years, and it's an incredible place. But the thing that I miss the most are road trips, or just kind of getting in a car in one state and then getting out of a car in another state, and that's possible there, but it takes a few days. So I wasn't going to book a flight. I was going to, get in a car and drive home just for the experience of it, and it was everything I thought it would be and a lot more. I left Milwaukee, and another aspect of it is I was DJing the Saturday Night Social, which was really dope. Being able to offer that to my classmates. So I'm in music mode. So I'm driving and I'm listening to music and I'm crossing state lines and everything's feeling great. I get into Tennessee and of course it's country music on the radio stations and I didn't necessarily mind that. Like one of the things that I think has worked for me as a DJ is that I did like Lee County is a predominantly white school, so I grew up listening to a lot of country music in the shared spaces, weightlifting, and so on. So it was actually neat to kind of even take that trip down memory lane, in that sweet spot, that sweet spot of 90s Garth Brooks country. And I started, like in road trips, you have especially that 15-hour when there's a lot of time to think. So I'm, thinking about going home, and so the country music kind of led me into the reminder, I guess, that I am driving back into the context where I'm, will be one of the only black people there, which is, which was what it was, if you will. So there's a Black History program every year. At my high school, and if you would imagine being in that minority situation, like that day meant a lot to us. Someone sang "Amazing Grace" every year. We sang the Black Negro national anthem. It was official. But the disappointing part, though, every year it was tradition for most of the white students to elect out of attending school that day, and the parents were allowed to. It was basically an excused absence. The pushback on the day was that was the day they were being force-fed Black history, and it wasn't fair. And Eve came up, the lady went down the street, came over and wrote a letter. So and even at that age, you knew that wasn't okay, right? It was disappointing, but it was what it was. Another tradition was, every morning of the Black History program, there'd be a Confederate flag on the water tower, which was another part of the tradition there. So there was the interesting part about that is because it happened multiple years, you almost, in a really dark way, you look forward the morning of being one of the black students, right? And go, yeah, there it is, right? There was never, there was always, there was never really a discussion about who did it, and I think, there was a part of me that didn't really want to push that issue. It's interesting being a black male, being a 6-foot black male, right? You're doing this dance of knowing how disappointing this is, how passionate you want to express that, right? But then you don't want to enter that, angry black male space, which discounts everything that you're saying in the first place, right? So, and as a high school student, you know that you start doing this dance, and just like high school, I was just kind of in this way decided to just kind of sit that over there. This is going to be a great weekend, and I set it back in the closet that it's been in, and finished the road trip. Drove into homecoming. My high school high school team has been doing great lately, but I think in honor of our 20th class reunion, they decided to get blown out on the homecoming, which was really special. That reminded me of our era. And so left the homecoming game, went to doodads. You done the class reunion thing. Like it sounds as fun as it was, right? It's a place called Doodads. Closed that joint and ended up at a little at one of my classmates. So we're back at the house doing the after party to the after. And when you're 40, the after party looks like, standing around talking about kids and family and your professional life. And there's a point there where, for as much fun as I'm having right now, for as good as this feel, and I had a great experience in high school, and so this paralleled the weekend, right? I still want to know who hung up this flag, and being an adult now, was really struggling figuring out why I won't ask right now, right? I know that I can ask. I know that at this point I can even handle hearing the answer, and differently than I could have in high school, right? And decided not to ask and to keep laughing and to keep eating and to keep hugging and so now I'm back in the car after a great weekend, headed up the highway, crossing state lines. The good news is now that we're at this stage in life, we'll have opportunities every 5 years now to ask who hung up the flag.